At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a young boy named Calvin, who lives at Chesterfield Orphanage somewhere in America. Right away, we understand that Calvin's life is not easy. He doesn't have parents, he doesn't have much, and honestly, he doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in himself either. What he does have, though, are two loyal best friends named Ray and Muff. These three are inseparable. They spend their days hanging around the orphanage grounds, watching other kids play basketball from the outside, never really in the middle of things, always on the edge. Now, before we go any further, you need to understand something about this orphanage. It's run by a man named Blemon, and this guy is not exactly running the place out of the goodness of his heart. He's slick, selfish, and the kind of man who smiles at your face while calculating what he can take from you. Keep that in mind. It matters later. Back to Calvin. Life at Chesterfield isn't terrible, but it isn't great either, and the reason it isn't great has a name, and that name is Ox. Ox is one of the older boys at the orphanage, and he has made it his personal mission to make the younger kids miserable. He's bigger, stronger, louder, and he loves every second of the power that gives him. He has his little crew, his group of followers, and together they walk around like they own the place. One afternoon, Ox decides to set his sights on Calvin. He walks up and challenges him to a one-on-one basketball game right there on the orphanage court. Now, Ray and Muff can immediately see where this is going. They pull Calvin aside and beg him not to do it. They know how this ends. But Calvin is frustrated. He's tired of being pushed around, tired of being looked down on, and in that moment, his pride speaks louder than his logic. He says yes, and the game begins. It does not go well. From the very first minute, Ox is toying with Calvin. He's taller, stronger, and he knows it. Every time Calvin tries to make a move, Ox shuts it down effortlessly. The score isn't even close. Calvin loses badly, and to make things worse, the terms of the bet mean he has to hand over his shirt to Ox. But Ox doesn't just take the shirt. He looks Calvin dead in the eye and rips it apart right there in front of everyone. It's deliberate. It's cruel, and you can see exactly what it does to Calvin. Not just the embarrassment, but something deeper, like something inside him shrinks a little. That image right there sets the tone for everything that's about to happen. Remember it. Not long after, Blemon sends the kids out near the local basketball stadium to sell candy on behalf of the orphanage. Calvin, Ray, and Muff are out there working when Calvin spots someone walking out of the stadium. That someone is Coach Wagner, the head coach of a professional basketball team called the Knights. And from the look on his face, it's clear the Knights just had a rough night. He's in a foul mood. Calvin walks up to him and tries to sell him some candy. The coach brushes him off and keeps walking. But Calvin does something that surprises everyone. He doesn't back down. He follows up. He explains that the money goes to the kids at the orphanage. And this time, Coach Wagner slows down. He actually feels something. He reaches into his pocket and tries to hand Calvin some cash directly. Here's where it gets interesting. Calvin refuses to take it. Not because he doesn't need it. He absolutely does. But because he looks the coach in the eyes and tells him the truth. He says he can't accept money he's not sure will actually reach the kids. He doesn't trust that Blemon will use it right. For a split second, Coach Wagner just stares at him. Because this kid, this small, struggling, nobody knows his name kid, just showed more integrity than most adults Wagner has probably dealt with all week. He asks Calvin if he's ever been to a Knights game. Calvin shakes his head. No money for that. So Coach Wagner reaches into his pocket a second time. Not with cash. With 4 free tickets to the next home game. Calvin's whole face changes in an instant. Now we come to the moment that flips this entire story upside down. Back at the orphanage, a donation arrives. Boxes and bags of secondhand items. Clothes, toys, all kinds of things. Calvin is rummaging through everything when his hands land on something that stops him cold. A pair of white basketball shoes. He holds them up, and his eyes go wide. They're clean, they're classic, and there's something about them that just feels different. A nun who delivered the donation tells Calvin something almost unbelievable. Those shoes once belonged to Michael Jordan himself. Now look, Calvin is already a massive Michael Jordan fan. So when he hears this, he doesn't walk. He sprints to put those shoes on his feet. They fit. And in that moment, something shifts in him. Just wearing them makes him feel bigger than he is. But of course, Ox is watching. Ox and his crew swarm Calvin, strip the shoes right off his feet, tie the laces together, and launch them up onto the electrical wires outside. The shoes hang there, dangling, swaying, completely out of reach. And Ox just laughs and walks away. That night, while everyone is asleep, Calvin is wide awake staring at the ceiling. A storm is rolling in outside. Thunder, rain, the whole thing. But Calvin has made up his mind. He wakes Ray and Muff, and the 3 of them sneak out into the storm like they're on some kind of mission. Calvin starts climbing a tree near the power line, his hands slipping in the rain, the wind pushing against him. Just as he finally reaches close enough to grab the shoes. Lightning cracks through the sky and strikes the electrical wire directly. The jolt throws Calvin off the tree. He crashes to the ground, shoes in hand. Ray and Muff run to him, terrified. But Calvin opens his eyes. Blinks. He's completely fine. Not a scratch. Just laying in the mud in the pouring rain, holding a pair of shoes that are now glowing with a soft, strange light. Something has happened to those shoes. Something that cannot be explained. The next day, Calvin and his crew head to the stadium with those tickets. They're excited. Finally, something fun. But of course, Ox finds out and threatens to expose them to Blemon if they don't cut him in. Calvin, being Calvin, does something generous. He offers Ox the 4th ticket and invites him along. Ox, unable to resist a free game, agrees. So all 4 of them walk into that stadium together. The game is incredible, but the real moment comes at halftime. The announcer reveals they're going to pull a fan from the crowd for a spontaneous one-on-one with the team's star player, Tracy. It's just a lottery draw, totally random. And the number they call? Calvin's. He shoots up out of his seat, practically bouncing off the walls with excitement. Ox immediately tries to yank the ticket from him to take his spot, but Calvin is too quick. He dodges Ox and sprints down to the court before anyone can stop him. What happens next is the kind of moment that makes people stop scrolling. Tracy, the professional star, starts off treating Calvin like a photo opportunity. He lets Calvin score a few easy baskets, playing it up for the crowd. Everyone's clapping, laughing, enjoying the feel-good moment. But then something changes. Calvin scores again, and again, and again. Tracy's smile starts to slip. He's actually trying now, and Calvin is still getting through. Then Calvin launches into the air. Not a normal jump, not even a great jump. Something beyond that. He rises higher than any kid, higher than most adults, and throws down a slam dunk that makes the entire arena go dead silent for about 2 full seconds before it absolutely erupts. Tracy is standing there with his mouth open. The crowd can't stop screaming. And on Calvin's feet, those glowing white shoes. If you haven't subscribed yet, you are literally robbing yourself right now. This story only gets wilder from here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown like this one. And drop a comment below. Do you think the magic is real, or is it all in Calvin's head? Let me know. Now let's keep going. The very next day, Coach Wagner shows up at Chesterfield Orphanage with his team manager. He wants Calvin to play in official games with the Knights. Blemon immediately refuses, until the word, money, enters the conversation. Then suddenly, Blemon is the most supportive guardian figure you've ever seen. Absolutely. Of course. Anything for the kids. Calvin, Ray, and Muff all know the truth behind the shoes. Calvin makes them swear to keep it secret. But Ox has been watching from the shadows, and the gears in his head are turning. He can't figure out how Calvin, the same kid he destroyed on the court just days ago, is now out playing professional athletes. Then it clicks. The shoes. It has to be the shoes. When Calvin arrives for his first game with the Knights, Tracy is not happy. His teammates won't let him forget the halftime loss, and now that same kid is joining the team. Coach Wagner assigns Tracy to be Calvin's roommate and unofficial babysitter during travel. A task Tracy accepts with all the enthusiasm of someone being handed a root canal. But Calvin is thrilled. He's rooming with one of his basketball heroes. That night, Tracy goes out to see his girlfriend and leaves Calvin alone in the hotel room. This is a mistake. Calvin proceeds to order what appears to be the entire room service menu. There are wrappers everywhere, pillows on the floor, beds destroyed. When Tracy comes back with his girlfriend, the room looks like a tornado passed through it wearing a jersey. Tracy's girlfriend thinks it's hilarious. Tracy does not. Then they go to sleep. Or at least Tracy tries to. Because what he does not know yet, what he is about to learn in the most painful way, is that Calvin snores. Not gently, not occasionally. We're talking industrial level, wall vibrating, sleep-destroying noise. Tracy stares at the ceiling all night long. The next day at the game, Tracy is running on zero sleep and barely functioning. Calvin notices and tells Coach Wagner. The coach comes down on Tracy hard. No excuses, no sympathy, just a serious warning and a whole lot of frustration. Meanwhile, Calvin continues to be unstoppable on the court. Game after game, he's making plays that shouldn't be possible for someone his age, his size, or his experience level. The city starts paying attention. Then the country does. Calvin's name is suddenly everywhere. News channels, newspapers, billboards. He becomes the face of the Knights. And here's the part that makes people genuinely love Calvin. Fame doesn't change him. Not even a little. He keeps sending gifts back to the orphanage. He keeps thinking about Ray, Muff, and all the other kids. His fans can see it, and they love him even more for it. On a visit back to the orphanage, Calvin is catching up with Muff when Ox tries to snatch the shoes off Calvin's feet again. But this time, Blemon steps in and shuts Ox down fast. He's not protecting Calvin out of love. He's protecting his cash flow. Calvin is bringing attention and money to the orphanage, and Blemon is not about to let anyone disrupt that. Back on the road with the Knights, Tracy's sleep situation has reached critical levels. He makes a late-night run to a clinic to pick up something to help him sleep. What he doesn't realize is that Calvin has stowed away in his back seat. At the clinic, Tracy accidentally grabs a sleeping pill instead of an allergy tablet. He takes it on the way back to the car, and within minutes, he's completely gone, eyes closed, slumped in the driver's seat. Calvin panics. If Coach Wagner finds out they were out this late, they're both dead. So Calvin does what any reasonable, never-driven-before kid would do. He gets behind the wheel. What follows is one of the most chaotic drives in the history of hotel parking lots. Trash cans, curbs, near misses. Calvin somehow, miraculously, gets them both back to the hotel without ending up as a news story. But the late-night trip still gets out, and Calvin ends up suspended as a result. Tracy feels the guilt immediately. He finds Calvin and apologizes, genuinely, not just going through the motions. Calvin can see the difference. Then comes the adoption dinner situation. More parents keep showing up at the orphanage wanting to take Calvin home. Blemon, of course, has been carefully filtering who gets through. He's only bringing in people who clearly aren't right for Calvin, making sure Calvin says no every time, keeping him available and under his control. Calvin plays along for a while, goes to dinner, tries to keep an open mind, but he always comes back with the same answer. None of these people are right. He'd rather stay with his friends. Meanwhile, Muff's happiness is starting to crack. He's watching his best friend become a superstar while he stays exactly the same. The quiet jealousy grows. This is where things get dark. Calvin is at another dinner with a potential family. Before leaving, he hands his magical shoes to Muff and asks him to keep them safe. Muff puts them on, jumps around. Nothing happens. No power, no glow, just a regular kid in big shoes. He sits down, deflated, and stares at the only photo he has left of his mother. That's when Ox walks in with Blemon and a few of his crew. Blemon plays it cool at first, casual, friendly, just asking about the shoes. Then Ox grabs Muff's mother's photograph, and they threaten to destroy it. Muff breaks. Terrified of losing the last piece of his mother he has left, he tells them everything. Every detail about the shoes, what they do, where their power comes from. Blemon smiles. He takes the shoes straight to his underground gambling contacts and places an enormous bet against the Knights. He is absolutely certain that without the shoes, Calvin is nothing. He's going to lose. The other team is going to win, and Blemon is going to clean up. Calvin is still at dinner when his phone starts ringing. It's Muff and Ray, voices shaking. They tell him everything. He bolts. Calvin races back to the orphanage, and the kids rally together like a small army. They corner Blemon, and together, they tie him up. Every kid in the building is involved. Even Ox is there, though he's hanging back, watching. Then something shifts in Ox. Right there in front of everyone, Blemon starts screaming and blaming Ox, humiliating him, throwing him under the bus to save himself. And in that moment, Ox looks at Blemon and sees clearly, probably for the first time, exactly who this man is and what their friendship has always meant. It meant nothing. He was just useful. Ox makes a decision. He walks to Blemon's private safe, figures out the combination, and pulls out Calvin's shoes. He holds them out to Calvin. Go, he says. The kids flood out toward the stadium. But Blemon manages to get a message out to his gambling associates. Stop that kid, whatever it takes, don't let him reach the court. His men try to cut Calvin off. Blemon himself shows up and tries to block the path. Calvin doesn't slow down. He pushes past him and keeps running. When Calvin bursts through the stadium doors and looks up at the scoreboard, his stomach drops. The Knights are getting crushed. It's a blowout. He laces up the magical shoes and runs onto the court. The momentum shifts immediately. Calvin is everywhere. Stealing, scoring, creating plays out of nothing. The crowd wakes up. The scoreboard starts moving. Within minutes, the Knights are back in it. Then ahead, Calvin is putting on a show that nobody in that building will ever forget. But then, a collision. Multiple players crash into each other and pile on top of Calvin. When he stands up, he looks down. The shoes are destroyed, torn apart, done. And in that moment, standing in the middle of the court with ruins on his feet and the clock running, Calvin's confidence completely shatters. He thinks it's over. He walks toward the bench, ready to give up. Tracy stops him. She puts her hand on his shoulder and says the words that land heavier than anything else in this entire story. The magic was never in the shoes, Calvin. It was always in you. Calvin stands there for a long moment. Then he takes off what's left of the torn shoes. He walks to the team bench, pulls on a regular pair, and walks back onto that court. Head up, jaw set, something different in his eyes. And he plays the best basketball of his life. No magical shoes. No glow. Just Calvin, believing in himself, probably for the very first time. He carries his team to victory in the final game, and the stadium comes completely unglued. His name is echoing off every wall. After the final buzzer, in the middle of all the celebration, Calvin makes a decision that shocks everyone. He tells Coach Wagner he's not going to keep playing with the Knights. Why? The coach asks, completely baffled. Calvin says he belongs with his friends, with the orphanage kids. That's his world, and he's not ready to leave it behind. So he goes back, and that's when Tracy shows up at Chesterfield Orphanage. She stands in front of Calvin and tells him she wants to adopt him. She wants to give him a real home, a real family. Calvin looks at her and says yes, but with one condition. Muff comes too. Non-negotiable. Package deal. Tracy doesn't hesitate for even a second. She says deal, and she means it. So Calvin and Muff leave the orphanage together, finally going home. And Ray? He gets adopted by a wonderful family of his own. All 3 boys, the ones nobody thought anyone would want, end up exactly where they were always supposed to be. And that right there is the real magic of this entire story. Not the shoes, not the lightning, not the impossible dunks or the sold-out arenas. The real magic was a boy who had every reason to believe he was worthless, slowly discovering that he was never the problem. The world just hadn't caught up to him yet. Calvin's shoes might have given him the platform, but everything that kept him on that platform, the honesty, the loyalty, the heart, that was his all along. This movie is a reminder that what you're looking for on the outside is almost always already sitting somewhere inside of you, waiting for the moment you're desperate enough to find it. Now before you click away, if this breakdown hit different, do me a solid and smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. And if you're new here and you watched all the way to the end without subscribing, come on, you already know you belong here. Hit that subscribe button right now and join the family. Drop a comment below and tell me, if you found a pair of magical shoes, what would your superpower be? I want to know. See you in the next one.